Your Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Cape Verde, Mr. Olabo Abelino Garcia Correa, our host, the Chair of the African Caucus, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, and I want to use him as my point of reference to recognize and appreciate the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and my colleagues in the Federal Executive Council. Distinguished African governors of the World Bank and the IMF President, heads of African regional organizations, and excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, permanent secretaries, directors general, and other heads of extra-ministerial agencies and parastatals of government, my Lord Boateng, our honored keynote presenter, thank you for tracing your African past. But it is worthy to note that our finance minister also has Ghanaian connections. His wife is a Ghanaian, and when he was asked to choose between Nigerian and Ghanaian jollof rice, he played the role of a politician. He is a technocrat. He opted for amala with iwedu as a compromise meal. Former senior officials of government, elder statesmen, and captains of industry, distinguished delegates, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to Abuja. Thank you for coming to Nigeria. Against the backdrop of what happened a couple of weeks ago in Kenya, there was understandable apprehension. But here we are. No matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. Stormy, the weather might well be, but it won't rain forever. We have crossed the Rubicon. The president took the painful bullet. Reforms are inevitable. And we know the consequences of unveiling a masquerade. We are aware of the oil subsidy cabal. But Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are determined to push on. Of course, with the milk of human kindness. We appreciate, our heart goes out to what our countrymen are going through on cost of living crisis, but we shall overcome. Once again, I wish to most sincerely thank my friend, Dr. Edwin Girente, for the vote of confidence on the Nigerian nation, for all the delegates for gracing this function. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'm delighted to welcome so many esteemed personalities who have traveled from all over Africa and other regions of the world to be present at the important meeting in our capital city, Abuja. Today we gather as one family, united in our quest for a stronger, more prosperous and more peaceful continent. As we meet, we must also remember that our continent faces numerous challenges across economic, humanitarian, and social spheres. However, I take consolation from the fact that we all recognize the potential we possess to overcome these challenges, and we are ready to take the necessary measures to translate our immense opportunities in natural resources and human capital into growth, innovation, and collaboration. This caucus offers a vital platform for us to share experiences, forge partnerships, and chart a collective path forward. Africa's story is one of resilience, creativity, and hope. Indeed, we have made significant strides in recent years, with many of our nations achieving remarkable economic growth, social progress, and political stability. Yet, obstacles such as increasing poverty, rising debt across many countries, inequality, and conflicts continue to widen the gap between our continent and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. This is indeed a matter of serious concern. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this caucus meeting provides us with the opportunity to examine and discuss the main challenges and strategies for fostering inclusive growth and sustainable development in Africa. By ensuring that democracy, good governance, and economic institutions work together, we can improve the quality of life of people across the continent. I find the theme of this year's African Caucus Meeting, facilitating intra-African trade, catalyst for sustainable economic growth and development, to be very strategic. It not only draws attention to the potential of a robust and inclusive global trading arrangement to accelerate growth, but also reminds us of the urgent need to address the unevenness in trade growth, which accounts for the weakening dynamism and openness in trade. With seasoned professionals and policymakers from diverse backgrounds in our midst addressing a range of timely and important issues related to Africa's development, I am confident that this meeting will pave the way forward for sustainable development on the African continent. As a government, we have initiated bold economic reforms aimed at steering our economy away from the downturns caused by multiple shocks in the global economy towards a path of recovery and resilience through significant economic transformation. Our reform efforts have been strategically focused on fostering fiscal and monetary efficiency, driving sustained long-term economic growth, and catalyzing job creation in alignment with the SDGs priorities. We remain committed to optimizing our economic potential, delivering favorable outcomes for our citizens, and ensuring the overall sustainable development of the regional economy. Our efforts are yielding positive results with improved macroeconomic stability and increased investment. We believe that Africa has much to gain from further regional integration, structural reforms, and purposeful, coordinated engagements with the international community. This will allow the continent to achieve the development traction it desires. We recognize that our individual successes are intertwined with the global economic landscape. Therefore, it is crucial that we collectively discuss in candid and dispassionate terms the imperative of advancing reforms of the international financial architecture to address systemic inequalities and promote equitable growth. We need enhanced international tax cooperation to combat illicit financial flows and ensure that multinationals contribute fairly to our economies. We must also foster global economic cooperation to tackle shared challenges and leverage opportunities. However, we must also acknowledge the need to take responsibility for our own development by undertaking the difficult structural and fiscal reforms required to boost long-term growth and enable reinvestment into our economies through infrastructure and effective social spending. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere wish that this caucus will be filled with lively and productive discussions. We will undoubtedly learn from one another by exchanging valuable viewpoints to foster the needed shared growth, shared opportunities, and shared global responsibilities. I want to align myself with the position of Lord Barton that the future belongs to Africa. We are the youngest continent. The average age of the Nigerian nation is 16.9. We hold potentials, but we need to translate those potentials into realities. According to Korn Ferry, a global consultancy outfit, there will be 65 million global talent deficit by 2035. The United States, Brazil, and Russia will suffer from 6 million talent deficits each. We are in a unique position to take advantage of our useful population and fill in this gap. India, as a global outsourcing powerhouse, by 2035 will have only 1 million surplus. As I said earlier, Africa is a young continent. Our proximity to Europe is an added advantage, coupled with the fact that there are more English speakers in Nigeria than in India. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the highest we have ever earned from the exports of oil in Nigeria was 35 billion in 2011 under former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. India is expected to earn over $100 billion from outsourcing alone. I hope that you all will find the next 2 days to be an enjoyable and rewarding experience. Thank you so much.
Excellency, all those on the front row will join. Other ministers of the Federal Republic that are here will join. This is just the first photograph. The Deputy Prime Minister of Cape Verde will join. AU President's representative, Secretary General of